Hey, it's me, Big P, the only person on YouTube still excited for the next Path of Exile patch, and I wanted to quickly go over my league start plan. It's a pretty simple and straightforward build, or at least build skeleton that I'm going to use to try a bunch of new stuff, namely Shield Crush and maybe Spectral Shield Throw as clear, and potentially even Battle Mage's Cry, seeing if we can fit that into the build here. Basically, the idea of the build was that I wanted a strong base character. I kind of have always rolled at least one Gladiator within like the past year or so because Gladiator is just a very strong and consistent sort of archetype. Block is just so dang strong. It's going to feel so much more consistent. I hate dying, especially on that first character. You know, bricking a map or not being able to get through whatever. It feels really bad. And Gladiator kind of mitigates a lot of the one shots that happen in this game. So I think, I tried this in the BPL last league. Well, it was a Blade Storm, and that's another thing. If everything that I try here fails miserably, Blade Storm is actually buffed. So this is pretty much the exact tree that I was running in BPL. All I did was drop the axe nodes here and tweaked it a little bit to like go for stuff like Command of Steel. Right now the tree is at level 92, and if you want to get a cluster jewel or whatever, you can probably drop this jewel here to fully go into it. But either way, well, maybe it's better to go that way. Same thing. Well, strength nodes. But yeah, let me go over exactly the theory. Actually, you probably won't be going Crimson Dance on this version of the build because the Shield Crush doesn't really have that much attack speed. I'm probably not going to have that much attack speed overall. But yeah, this is a bleed gladiator tree. It's pretty boilerplate. There's really not much room for improvement here. You go into the physical dot multi-wheels here because they're really strong, and then just everything else you need. A lot of shield stuff. Between Spectral Shield Throw and Shield Crush, doing their damage based on whether or not or rather the amount of armor that you have in your shield. I'm not sure if things like 40% increased defenses that you get here in retaliation and the small node here, if that will actually be like a damage node, which would be pretty nice. It would make stretching over here feel worth it. Oh, wait, it's worth noting we also might have to go into this mana leech early if mana is an issue. We're going to have 15% mana unreserved, I believe, or only 13, I guess, for some reason. But either way, you're going to have to balance your mana accordingly. I think maybe like mana is going to be like an issue. They're upping the mana multipliers on a lot of stuff, so you might actually run out of attacks and stuff. But I think with a little bit of leech, you should be okay. But either way, let's just get into the skill setup. I'm not going over items at all. This is an SSF friendly build. I guess you can go for like the Hemophilia gloves if you don't like the clear or you don't want to use Spectral Shield Throw for clear, which I wouldn't blame you for if you want to just do a pure Shield Crush build. I'm not so sold. Obviously, it's a new skill. We don't know how well it will clear. And you also are probably going to go for Gratuitous Violence. I'm kind of deciding whether or not it'd be worth it to drop it and just go for full Violent Retaliation, just to make the build a lot tankier. We're going to have to see how the new league feels. You know, there's so many things that have been adjusted, but it's hard to say anything is set in stone. You know, this is, again, going to be a sort of build where I can kind of bounce back and forth between what I need to, but let's get into the skills. So the single target, Shield Charge is supposed to be Shield Crush, although we might actually end up using Shield Charge. That's how bad movement skills are this league. Chance to bleed you probably will use early, but you might not need to later. In fact, I think because it's a shield, I don't know if a shield counts as a weapon in the way this is worded. The supported attacks deal added damage with weapons. I don't know. So you might not use this one. The rest of these are pretty much standard for a bleed build. The int requirement for stuff like Unbound Ailments, that might be a little tricky to get, and even the dex stuff. On the tree, we have some decks. You get like a little bit here, but we might be taking these early until our gear gets better. Because, there's a very specific sort of set of skill gems, the ones that scale ailments and damage over time and stuff like that. Another one is like Malevolence, and the 98 int for the max level one. We're really going to need to hit that. But these might all change. Something that is kind of cool is we might actually get to use cruelty properly. I've never, well, it's only been out for like what, a patch or two? I think just one patch actually. It came out in the Exsanguinate patch, and I wasn't really so sold on it on like a Crimson Dance build because you're doing a lot of smaller hits and whatever, and I feel like cruelty might be like overwritten. So we're gonna have to try it and see. In addition, Fortify because I believe it's a melee. I really should have double checked the skill gem, but like, I mean, they already nerfed it like halfway through, so I'm not gonna bother, again, I'm gonna be streaming it this weekend and playing through it and figuring it out. Fortify, whether or not it's worth it. I mean, having Fortify in a build is always nice. Even if you're a Gladiator, you want to mitigate any damage that you do take, that you don't block. We might be able to throw it on the shield charge, though, if we are using shield charge. Yikes, in current year. And the clear will be something like this. I mean, it's going to be a 4-link, so it's going to be nothing crazy. Just another sort of skill that's going to scale a shield that's going to have a bunch of armor on it. So hopefully the flat damage will be there, and we won't even really have to think about, the clear. It'll just be they're changing the function, the base function of Spectral Shield Throw, and then we're just going to see how that works. If it's really crap, then we'll just try and use Shield Crush with the Bleed Explosions, and maybe that'll be fine. But just standard stuff. I really just want to experiment with a lot of stuff here. For example, like the new dash with no second wind support. I mean, maybe we use second wind support. Like, I don't know. Maybe we'll use Leap Slam instead because I don't really want to, rely on shield charge, which just feels really bad sometimes. I mean, even if you have decent amount of attack speed, just there's on indoor maps, on maps where you like can jump between stuff. Like, I don't know. We might be going back to shield charge days. We'll see. And dash might be flame dash, although flame dash is also nerfed. So I don't know. Again, this is all subject to change, particularly if we use a wand. If we start to scale like spell damage a little, because somebody gave me the idea of using Battle Mage's Cry, the new gem that's meant for the Inquisitor. Well, not meant for the Inquisitor, you can use it on any build, and something that would be really cool would be to, we're near Call to Arms and we take it. Normally we do it for Enduring Cry. But if you want to go like a little more softcore special and get a little bit more DPS on your build, which I think a lot of people are going to be wanting for this league, yeah, you can pop Exsanguinate with any number of these things. Chain if you want it to help you clear, maybe for a pure Shield Crush type build, and then like stuff like Empower, if you want it to just do a bunch of damage. Gem levels are really good on the dot skills. Dot spells really in particular. So we're going to try that out too. We're already trying 2 new things. Why not make a 3rd? The auras are pretty straightforward. Malevolence gives you more damage over time, and skill effect duration. Herald of Purity increases your physical damage and gives us some friends. No one else is going to be playing this league because everybody quit because the game's too hard, and all your attacks and spells heal the enemies. So it's be nice to have somebody in the map with you. And then War Banner increases physical damage taken, which is a huge multiplier. Yeah, I mean, I ran a Bleed Gladiator and was very, and it was basically SSF, and I was very satisfied with how it went. And so I think instead of trying, well, I mean, I am kind of trying some new stuff, but it's, we have the fallback of Blade Storm and stuff if we really need it. Items I'm not really going to go over, because I'm not that well versed in it, and there's kind of a lot of options. Like, for example, you get like a Warlord runic hatchet, I believe. And like that would probably be the standard base, but you can also like use wands because we're not actually using an attack that uses our main hand. All of our attacks, be it crush or throw, are going to use our shield instead. So it'll be kind of weird, but the big thing on the shield will be throwing essences at it to kind of get like a high armor roll. The more flat armor, the more flat physical damage, so the stronger your bleed will be. I mean, I think, right? Like, that's how it works. So hopefully that won't be too difficult to craft. I mean, I feel like you might actually be able to, like, snipe some really cheap ones the first weekend. Like, because as much as this seems like an interesting build, I don't really think it's going to be, like, the meta or expensive or anything like that. So yeah, should be fun. Again, like I said, Hemophilia gloves maybe you can pick up if you want the clear. If you want to go for challenger charges instead and not have to pick up gratuitous violence, but gratuitous violence does have 20% more fizz dot over time, which is hard to replace. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, like, there's not really much to talk about besides, all the, drama with the impending nerfs. I personally don't really see the point in whining about stuff we haven't even tried ourselves yet. I mean, there's so much stuff that's moving around in this game, and it's still going to be essentially the same game. I mean, it's not like they've completely removed some things from the. I mean, some things are like removed effectively. But either way, looking forward to the league. League looks cool. I'm gonna try a number of new things. I remember in my initial reactions, I was like kind of down on Battle Mage's Cry, but now the more and more I think about it, there's like 7 builds I want to try with it, and this was one of them. So yeah, stay locked to the channel, hit the like and the sub because league's starting in 2 days, and there's gonna be a lot more content between all the builds I want to do and Royale stuff I want to do. And who knows, maybe this is the league where I like really start that like stupid podcast because I'm seeing a lot of hot takes this week in response to the balance manifesto and patch notes that have just made me really mad. So I think a more productive outlet instead of rage posting on my favorite sites would be just to kind of talk to myself and others about it. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.